Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the finals. We have seen a great tournament at the beginning of this year. Group stages obviously have already been held at the end of December, around Christmas time. At the start of January we had the last matches of the group stages, and we have the mid of March now. Daylight saving time today in the US. I don't know if in all the time zones. I'm not that informed. I'm just an ignorant German boy. But that has led to some confusion. So I hope we have our American friends here today. And I hope you didn't miss this opportunity to watch the finals live because of that. If you did and watched this later, very sorry. Nobody in the team realized that the change was today. So we put up the time in EST time format, which now is EDT. And I hope everyone was able to do the mental gymnastics to do the calculations there. We have both players here. They made it. MrMan, our US competitor, actually arrived too early because of the confusion, but too early is not the biggest problem. He's here now. And another guy that's here now and will be commentating with me today is Thrawn. Welcome, Thrawn.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the MINORS.
How are you doing? Are you excited for the finals?
Definitely excited, Lany. It's really interesting because I was watching MrMan's career since his first match, since the beginning, and now he got into the finals. So I'm totally excited for that.
You have been watching his career with great interest, I presume.
Exactly as you say.
Exactly. Okay, let's watch his journey. If we scroll over here to the grand finals, maybe like this, I think that should be okay. You can see he's coming from the lower bracket finals, and he had a great run through the lower bracket. He has beaten you in the losers round 5, 3-0, very convincingly. I think his rebel play was the outstanding thing in that matchup, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it was a real shock to me because I expected that one to win so I can face Flipper, but suddenly I lost 3-0, so that was a big shock.
Indeed. And then against Flipper, 3-1, again, a convincing victory. And if we look back, 3-0 against Saxivice, 3-1 against Comrade Mason, 3-0 against Flowpode, 3-1, well, 1-3 against you. You have met him a second time, early in the tournament, second round upper bracket, and at that point, he lost, beat Dragoon before that. So what's the most striking thing about MrMan as our grand finals contender here, I think, is the progression, the journey that he has made since the beginning of the group stages. MrMan has never played competitive EAW. I think he is even one of the guys who haven't played a lot of vanilla at all, because nowadays people usually get into playing mods and single player first. And then if they get into multiplayer, chances are that they are playing mods first too. And only a select few dare to play competitively. And his improvement from the start of the group stages up until now is dazzling, don't you think?
Yeah, it's absolutely shocking because actually at the beginning in the group stages, MrMan was the guy who lost against everyone in our group. And then I guess that kicked him and he started improving and he got better and better. And eventually today he's where he is in the finals.
Right, and in the finals he will meet Mr. Raisinface, our, well, veteran is the wrong word, but he certainly is way more experienced than MrMan is. Comes from Sweden, Europe, so we have a EU versus US final here. And he has never dropped out of the upper bracket. Won against Flowpode 3-0, against Rock Motorfan 3-1, against Sackfad, also known as Saxiwise, 3-0, very convincing, and then a very close and spectacular match against Flipper J. Was only a 3-2 victory, but 3-2 is a victory, so he's entering the grand finals from the top here. entering the grand finals from the upper bracket is an advantage. I think you have read up on the grand final rules before. Do you want to explain the special drafting process for the grand finals for the best of 9? Or should I do that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Why not? Okay, so because Mr. Raisinface didn't lose a single game match, that's why he gets with 2 victory points into the finals. The finals are essentially 9 games. It's best of 9, and the first one who reaches 5 is the total victor of the minors.
Right.
And Mr. Raisinface starts with 2 victory points even before the match has started, so he has a natural advantage in this. And also there is a change that there are no bans, contrary to what we have seen in the previous matches. So any map can be played, but it can be played only once.
Exactly. In the regular best of 5s and best of 3s, the map pool was player based. So if your opponent picks a map, that doesn't prevent you from picking it. But now in the grand finals, we have a pool of 8 maps. We have a maximum of 7 games. Math checks out. We don't need any bans, right? The players need to bring their A game. They need to be able to play every map. And if the grand finals goes long, they might as well have to. All right, let me boot up my game because that helps with streaming. And then we can start the drafting process without the bans, but with all the maps in the pool and with a best of 9 grand finals. All right. Okay, I've got the crazy flickering mouse cursor again. Very nice. Thank you, game. Alrighty, here we are. Thrawn is in here, and I guess the players will join us in a moment too. Let's get the overlay going. There's actually one thing we need to do in the overlay, because there are no... Why is it black? Don't be black. Be the game instead. Okay. I might have to rehost this. And now we have it. OBS is strange sometimes. Right. We still have the high seed and low seed markers here for the players, and that's not what we need. Because this time it doesn't matter what seeding you are, it matters whether you come from the upper bracket or the lower bracket. And we have MrMan coming in from the lower bracket, and we have Mr. Raisinface coming in from the upper bracket. Now for the draft, we need to, move these up so that we have the just tiny final adjustments here. The high seed is obviously the one from the upper bracket. Oh, it's the other way around. Lower bracket is the upper line here. All right, and we have the upper bracket, the lower line. So that's a bit crossed over here. Don't get confused by that. Let's maybe do it like that. See, this is live preparation here. Can't get more involved. Can't get closer to the action. It's a bit finicky because it's very small and it tries to snap to things. Well, okay. I think it's fine. The information is there. The lower bar that you can see here is for the upper bracket player. So he will have the first map pick. And then the lower bracket player will have the first faction pick, and then it alternates just as usual. All right.
Okay, both of our players are already here, and it seems they're excited. Particularly
Indeed.
Mr. Raisinface, who is already typing into the chat.
Oh yeah, definitely. Now, one thing we need to change is the score. That's the old score from the Majors match that we had yesterday. But now everything is in order. Perfect. Okay, nothing in the way.
Oh.
Yeah, we be doing the dialogue, we be doing the last minute adjustments. I've been stuck in traffic a little bit, so I arrived very late. That's why the stream started a bit late and why not everything is 100% prepared yet. But we didn't want to let the players wait any longer, so we just ran with it. And yeah, as I said, Raisin Face, our upper bracket player, has the first map pick. He has the entire pool at his disposal. There are no bans. So what do you guys think? What are your predictions? Tell them in chat. And we'll see whether you're right, whether you earn the title of EW Oracle today. Yeah, I see the viewer count rising. Welcome everybody to the stream. If you arrived a couple minutes late, you haven't missed anything. The draft is just beginning. Mr. Raisinface with the first map pick, and then MrMan, our lower bracket contender, can answer with the faction pick. Now, Thrawn, you know both of these players. Do you know what their favorite maps are?
Ooh,
I think we have to say MrMan and Endor, don't we?
Exactly. I wanted to say exactly that. Yeah, so MrMan and Endor definitely, because he practiced on that one a lot and he defeated both Flipper and me on it, so that's a natural choice.
Mm-hmm.
As for Mr. Raisinface, I haven't faced him personally, but I think he might prefer the larger map.
All right. Yeah, I think you're right. MrMan seems to prefer smaller maps so far. I feel like Mr. Raisinface is a well-rounded map pool. I don't remember seeing that he excels especially well on larger or smaller map, but he picks one of the larger maps first in Dantooine. And Mr. Raisinface answers with the Empire pick. We have seen both factions win on this map. I feel like it's a bit easier with Empire. There's this Artemis strategy, right, where you just build everything. And if the Rebel player isn't 100% on point with his efficiency and destroying all these mines that you built, then you might just outpace him and end up swimming in money, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's the Empire's advantage. You can be everywhere at once, but you can't be there in force. So let's see how that plays out well for MrMan.
Indeed. All right. The players have accepted. They are ready. The colors are in order. We have pink for Mr. Raisinface and we have cyan for MrMan. And without further ado, Mr. Thrawn, let's get into it. Good luck and have fun to the players, and then we give them the countdown and start the first foray into this best of 9 grand finals for the 2021 Space Cup, the minor playoffs.
Let the mayhem begin.
Indeed, let it begin. Yeah, what is Space Cup? Space Cup is the EAW 1 versus 1 tournament that you are just now watching the finals of. It has 2 separate playoffs. You can think of it like first league and second league in other sports. And right now you're watching the second league, or the minor playoffs. The group stages divided the players into the majors and minors. The first and second place of each group moved on into the majors, and then the third and following places moved on into the minors. And these are the 2 players in the minors that prevailed, and I'd argue that we can see gameplay that is not that different from the majors. Now, with both of these players having shown that they are the best right now in their respective hunting grounds. All right, let's look at the map. We see one strategic decision here from MrMan is building this very interesting missile turret. It can see the top map, mine. So he will never have to check that again with fighters. And on the other side, we have Mr. Raisinface doing the same thing with the other turret. Though this turret cannot see the mine. You have to manually look there.
Yeah, they basically employed the exact same strategies, like building the base mine, but not their defensive turret, and then going for the turret in the middle.
Yeah. Now, Raisinface scouts the mine from MrMan here very early, scouts the base mine, and MrMan responds by defending it. Because he hasn't found this mine yet, so he doesn't see a valid target for his units and is rather defending. Though I'm saying defending, I'm not sure what the fighters are doing right now.
Yeah, they are taking a break, honestly. Oh, this is interesting. Mr. Raisinface decided to commit on the missile turret.
Yeah, the missile turret in itself is not that scary for X-Wings, because it has very low DPS. It's nice because it goes through shields and everything. Oh, bombers! That was very smart from MrMan to build one bomber to be able to react very quickly to the mines. Maybe the bomber was actually meant for the base mine, but he found the other mine in the meantime. If we look at the bottom corner, then Mr. Raisinface actually builds that mine, and yeah, there's nothing from MrMan in the vicinity, so that should go up.
Definitely. And another mine is building at the top.
Oh yeah,
So-
Mr. Raisinface really doubling down on the mine count here.
I feel like Mr. Raisinface is employing a more Empire-like tactic, like trying to build up his mines everywhere and have MrMan move his fighters between the individual mines.
Yeah. MrMan finally is reinforcing his attack on the basement, and one thing that's really curious is that none of the players have built their defensive turret. So in theory, MrMan could just build his enemy's turret and destroy the base mine with the turret. Same thing on the other side, really.
Yeah, that could definitely work. The question is whether he has the money for it.
That bomber is really doing work. It's the second mine that it's about to destroy. And yeah, Raisin would only need to drop one X-Wing to defend that, but he's not doing that right now, rather building mid. Tries to stay ahead of the curve with the amount of mines that he had. Though his attack on the Empire base mine has failed. His X-Wing died, he has not sent any reinforcements there. Builds another mine. So we see pink mines sprouting up everywhere, like toadstools, I don't know. Oh, that's some double damage. Yeah, right, Senate. He's playing ping pong with MrMan. Just builds all the mines in all the places where MrMan is not at the moment. This can work. At that point, it's basically a race, whether you can get more mines up quicker than the opponent can destroy them. And right now, it's kind of even. It's always 2 mines for Raisinface and then 1 building, but now it's 3 actually, so maybe he's getting ahead of the curve. Now, Thrawn, what's your assessment of the situation? Who do you think is in the favorable position right now?
Oh, I think Mr. Raisinface is better on it economy-wise, but MrMan has definitely more fighters on the battlefield, particularly in the lower right corner, where there are 5 squadrons attacking the mine. And also in the center, there are another 4 to 5 squadrons harassing the X-Wings. So we will see. Depends whether Mr. Raisinface will deploy his X-Wings in force.
Looks like he's continuing to spend his money on mines. He's building 2 more mines right now. He has now lost the bottom mine. 3 TIE fighters attacking the left side. Yeah, if MrMan continues to build up his forces, there might come a point where he has enough units to be literally everywhere on the map, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I'm also kind of confused why Raisin is not attacking MrMan's base mine, because it's only source of income.
Wapu Wapu in chat, Ram King in chat, is speculating that Mr. Raisinface might be taking up right now.
Has been upgraded.
But who is taking up? Let's look at this. It's MrMan actually.
Wow.
And not Raisin. Jinxed it. Jinxed it,
Enemy
Ram.
space station
Okay,
has
now
been
we have the Rebel.
upgraded.
Both players pretty much at the same time. Ah. Obviously, there's no way to directly see when your opponent is taking up. You have to feel that. You have to anticipate that. And I would say it looks pretty nice for Mr. Raisinface. He has 3 mines right now. But MrMan had enough money to build Boba Fett. And if Boba Fett finds these X-Wings, then that could get ugly really fast.
Exactly. But so far it looks like there are fighters, so now a dropout is
There
expected.
are fighters, but that also means that he sees the fighters here. Boba Fett coming in. That was close.
Boom.
Very
And
nice.
all that money.
Now it's Han coming in, and he comes in at the bottom and moves directly over to the basement. I think this is the right call. Be very aggressive with your hero unit. Get that 1 mine that your opponent has. I'm kind of hoping that MrMan is building another mine, but at the same time the middle mine would be very dangerous. And a Nebulon. Oh, that's a lot of damage for only 1 mine, but if he knows that it's only 1 mine, then I guess it's enough.
I guess he wants to deny it, so he cannot build it again.
MrMan
Even
could
though
build this. It's not in vision of the turret. But I'm not sure if he knows, though.
Ooh, I personally think he doesn't. I don't want to underestimate him, but I did not know that either until you told me today. So
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's one of the things. Players usually just sit down in single player and then, well, try these things. Just what is in range of a missile turret? Is something in vision if I build the missile turret versus the laser turret and so on. It can help you in games like these. And now, look at this. Now Mr. Razorface is building it. But MrMan is checking it. He will arrive rather late. His fighters are not moving yet, though. That's unfortunate. Is he moving now? Did he find it? No? Oh,
No.
He's wasting all the time he could have done double damage. Now he's moving, but that's too late. Okay, let's look at the top again. Han Solo cleaning up everything. Boba Fett in the center, missing these X-Wings going over there. Yeah, I think Boba is helping to destroy this mine rather quickly. Now, both players have a unit at the enemy base mine, denying that. So that's locked down right now. Corona style.
and Raisin
I
is building
think...
too.
Yeah, I think calling Boba down here was a mistake. Because now all his forces are in the bottom right corner and all the way over there. What do we see here? All the mines going up. So Mr. Raisinface has a lot of space right now on the left side because Boba Fett has to go all the way until he can do any damage.
I agree. Also, I'm a bit confused by the tie block in the nebula down here because it was a nice trap. They took out the mine, but I feel like they should be moving and maybe scouting some other positions instead of sitting.
Nice stop command here from Mr. Razorface, getting behind Boba. And now this is ugly because Boba has to take the mine, right? And it will basically be a free kill here for Han. No? He decides to attack Han instead. Han is moving to the canister. Careful. Careful, careful. Oh no, oh no. This is gonna be ugly.
Oh. And Boba is gone.
Ouch. Tartan Cruiser. That's a happy Tartan. Got a mine to eat. But yeah, that was huge. I think that's game deciding. Losing Boba in that way without any income. Remember, MrMan does not have a mine right now. And he has spent his money on the Tartan Cruiser, so he cannot build Boba again. I think that's game. I don't really understand why MrMan is only checking with 1 TIE fighter instead of just sending all his TIE fighters up there. Now he's wasting so much time not being able to attack that. That could be done more efficiently, but now I think Mr. Razorface is just pulling ahead. He has a Corvette to defend against a Tartan Cruiser, so the Tartan is on the move now. Gets shot at by the station though with torpedoes, so that would be a lot of damage. Is he moving to the nebula? Why? If you lose your shields, don't go in there. Middle mine almost up. Tartan did his job, but yeah, again, 1,370 credits, 80 credits. For MrMan, he can't really do anything. He cannot build a space mine. There's a Nebulon sitting there. He could have some point just had the bomber maybe attack the Nebulon. I think he would have had the funds for that, don't you think?
Yeah, I was thinking about that actually, because it could have drawn Raisin's hand down there, because perhaps he wouldn't want to lose pricey Nebulon, so that could have saved Boba before he was killed.
Yeah.
So I think MrMan should have attacked that Nebulon B. Oh, he managed to take out Raisin's base mine, which was building with the Tartan.
Yep. Yeah, that Tartan was worth its money, but still, he's lacking a lot of map control. His other Tartan is not really doing anything right now. And yeah, Mr. Raisinface, if he wants to, can just build his base mine again. The middle mine, of course, is in range of the station at Tech 2. So that's actually really, really nice right now for MrMan, because he doesn't need another unit. The station can destroy it with the torpedoes, slowly but surely. Now we have Han defending, so the TIE fighters won't arrive at the bottom right mine. Don't get vision, he doesn't know if it's up or not. I think MrMan is saving up for another Boba, maybe? He has 1,800 credits right now, not really sure. Wait, that was the last mine of Mr. Raisinface? Yep, he's lost his income upgrade, yep.
Yeah, for the second time actually, because they both had a second level of mine upgrade.
Yep.
And they both lost it.
Ah, and finally, he must have forgotten about his unit here. Because if he would have moved that down here earlier, he could have kept that down, and then we would have even playing grounds. But like this, Mr. Raisinface has had more than 2,000 credits. He has spent a lot of this. I think that's going to be another Corvette.
It is possible. I think Mr. Raisinface could do something about the Tartans. Because they are basically...
He is definitely doing something about the Tartans.
Yeah, I see it.
And now MrMan really needs a bomber, right?
Exactly. Oh, and Han joined the attack, so the Tartan is officially dead. And I feel like with it died any chance MrMan winning this game.
I would agree. MrMan has now spent his money. But Raisinface has complete map control. He will soon be at 4 mines if he builds that one too. Well, 3 mines because that one is dying. Okay. Boom. But yeah. Oh, the Nebulon is actually in range of the station. Oof, if he would have at any point just sent something there to give vision. Ah, that hurts.
Well, it is in range of the concussion missile launchers, but over time it would have done some damage. I feel like MrMan would now need task force, and he can afford only individual units, which eventually won't save him.
Do you think he's gonna do bomber rush or something?
Actually, he might. Raisin's forces are concentrated around his base, so there is a chance he might drop them.
Maybe he's just... Oh, there's Boba coming in. Whoops, Capra. And looks like Mr. Raisinface is starting his base attack. Though he's not yet getting through the shields.
I feel like this will be costly. The Nebulons without bombers against level 2 starbase. Not the best.
Nice hit. Wait. If he hits stop now, he would just dead. No? Oh, he's coming back. It was literally 1 HP. Single shot. Killed it. Yeah, Raisin, what's the game plan here? Why are you not attacking? And why is this turret not using its ability? Why is this Nebulon just dying? What's happening? Who will win this 1v1? Now we have something to watch. I think the Corvette will win, right? Oh yeah, oh yeah. Ah, it's so close. Yeah, okay. Whew. Oh, we're taking out another mine. The Nebulon is dying, has lost its turbo lasers. So what's the plan?
Raisin Face is saving his money for some major assault because he's been setting on 3 mines, so he has a lot of money. He should really push his advantage now.
Builds middle mine again. Okay.
Yeah.
Wait.
Here we have the answer to our questions.
Will, are you in chat? Do you see this? I kind of like this. And where's Boba? Boba is on the other side of the map, up here. So he can't defend. Shields first, I guess?
Seems like Boba is not even moving down there. They're working up that mine.
Han is coming back. Okay, shields down, nip down. What's this? Oh, it's a bomber attack on the base mine. Interesting. Is this enough? Can they shoot once more? No, they are circling. Classic. Alright. Looking back at the stations. Still. Y-Wings doing their job. Even improved shields. That works on Y-Wings too, obviously. And now Boba is back. So that will be the end of the bomber rush. That was actually kind of underwhelming here. If it comes to seismic charges.
Yeah, they were sprayed out in all directions and just few of them died.
Yep.
Did you see that Boba turning in circles around the Y-Wing?
No, I didn't. Dan didn't have that on the screen, I think.
Oh. That's a shame. It was really funny. He did 3 circles.
That Corvette is low. Whee! And finally we have the GG. That was a bit overdue, but yeah, can't force it. Finally. He wants attrition. He wants that Mr. Raisinface gets tired for the next one, I think. Alright, that's the first, or should we say the third point for Mr. Raisinface with his upper bracket advantage. So, second game, MrMan map pick. Endor, right? There can't be anything else.
Yeah, I think so. Especially given the situation that MrMan need a point.
Right.
Victory point. So I think it's Endor.
All right. MrMan thinking about this. 7 maps that he can choose from. Dantooine is out now. Single play for every map only. And he has to strike back now. He's coming into this with the lower bracket disadvantage, and he has lost the first game despite having the faction advantage. So he needs to pick the map that he's comfortable on with both factions now.
Now that I'm thinking about it, it could be Naboo actually as well. So I think either Naboo or Endor.
All right. Yeah, I think he had some training with Carson on Naboo, so he's got the rebel start down pretty nicely now. But no surprise, it's gonna be Endor. Now,
Classic.
Ravenface has a difficult task now. I think he would like Empire, but at the same time, he knows that MrMan has a pretty much flawless streak of rebel victories on Endor in the past matches. So what do you think it's gonna be? It's gonna be Empire, okay. No need to speculate.
Oh,
It's gonna be Empire.
that's quite a surprise. I kind of expected Raisin to take Rebels to deny MrMan his advantage. But we will see. Perhaps Mr. Raisinface has some secret strategy he perfected against MrMan on Endor.
All right. Endor, maybe the smallest map in the pool. Iron Nebula in the center, that's always very difficult for the rebel player. X-Wings lose their shields in there. But at the same time, the small size makes it possible for very aggressive play. So let's go. Everyone is ready? Are you? I take that as a yes.
Yes, I'm
Let's
ready.
go.
Ready for Mayhem round 2.
Round 2. We have a 3-0 lead for Raisinface. So MrMan needs to strike back now. Let's go.
Pretty standard start on Mr. Raisinface side.
And yeah, I guess a modern start for MrMan, going above and beyond the nebula instead of securing the first turret. And on the other side, we have Mr. Raisinface going smack center, just scouting everything, seeing what the opponent is doing there in the center. They pass each other here, so it looks like we won't have a hard defense from Mr. Raisinface. This will be actually something that MrMan will be very happy about, because now he can, yeah, pretty much uncontestedly attack this mine, but he's not really attacking. Dudes, what are you doing? There's double damage to be had. Get it. But one thing we have to point out. There is no turret.
Oh, I think that's a mistake on MrMan's side, because I faced his strategy previously, and that turret really complicates the assault on the rebel baseline.
It complicates it a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially against bombers, I think. If you have a missile turret there, then it's really hard to attack that with bombers. Now, there goes the Empire base mine. It's down. Now these X-Wings, they're flying right into the range of the turret. They're losing a lot of units here. I hope that was a starting unit. Because that one he would get back. Would you look at this?
Look here, Lany.
But he's not going there! No, MrMan! He's turning away. He's not going there. Whoa.
It seems like Mr. Raisinface really knows what MrMan was gonna do, because he usually never goes for the top right.
Just assumes that the Empire is not going to build it anyway, since it's in range of the station.
Exactly.
No, not defending? I mean, it's funny to me because Raisinface builds the reactors upgrade, the speed upgrade for the TIE fighters, but he's not using it. Now he's defending, okay. So that's gonna be 4 mines for the Empire side in a moment here. Look at that. Maybe that one will actually die? Yeah, with the bombers, it's gonna die. There we go. But still, 3 mines for Mr. Raisinface, and above all, he's in the center. He can fortify this position, and it will be really, really hard for MrMan to attack there.
Indeed. And honestly, I feel like MrMan doesn't have a lot of units on the field.
Wow.
Could he be checking at this point?
Don't think he has the money. Looking at his 1400 right now. Yeah, he will. I don't want to translate what he will be shouting right now that he finds this mine up here.
Yep.
All right, now the bombers found their way into the center, but the fighters blocked some of the torpedoes.
Yeah, those Y-wings will die, definitely. In the end, I think the upper right mine paid for itself, don't you think?
Mm-hmm. I think so too. I think it paid for itself. It bought him a little bit of time in the end too, and that must sting. Just put yourself into MrMan's position right now. You pick your favorite map, your best map. You get the favorite faction on that map, and then that happens.
Yeah, the psychological effect will be massive on the whole game, I think.
Yeah, I hope he can bounce back from that in the next one, because that one's gotta hurt. Yeah, MrMan spent some of his money, but it wasn't enough for a tech upgrade. Ooh, the trash talk begins.
That's where the fun begins. Oh, come on. Oh, that was wasted 850.
Oh wow, yeah, that's where the fun begins indeed. When you can build your opponent's mines just to deny them for 30 seconds. Then this is indeed where the fun begins.
Yeah. Also, the middle is completely fortified. There is no X-Wing rush going through that, or bombers.
Yeah.
So I feel like we will get a GG pretty soon.
Yeah, I feel so too. I hope MrMan takes maybe a little bit of time to calm down, if he needs that. Yeah, chat is saying that Raisinface just must have studied what MrMan is doing, right?
Yeah,
because it looked like he's perfectly prepared.
He found the weakness in his tactic, which was that top mine, and also the center, because in previous games, MrMan, after destroying the Empire base mine, went for the center, but this time he did not.
Yeah, so that definitely was a mistake. He didn't keep control over the center. Generally, his map control was very lacking, because Raisinface at one point could build all 4 mines, so there were no rebel units in the area. All right, the players have left. We are watching AI. Maybe let's leave too.
Okay, no problem.
Match point for Mr. Raisinface now. If he wins the next one. My mouse is gone. I hope it's coming back. Oh, there it is. Flickering like crazy, but it's back. Is this gonna be a clean sweep, do you think? Or do you think MrMan can come back?
Personally, I would like to see MrMan come back and score some points, because he really improved a lot, and I think it would make him feel better if he scored at least once.
Yeah, I think so too. MrMan can do more than he is showing right now. And I think we all want more than only 3 matches in the grand finals, 3 games in the grand finals. But if Mr. Raisinface does the clean run, then all hats off to him. That's a great achievement in its own right.
Yeah, definitely. He will prove his position as the master, beating the apprentice.
Definitely. Back to the drawing board. This time, MrMan has... Oh, they have a pact? I don't know about the pact. We'll have to ask them later.
Oh, me neither.
All right, you do. We have Polos and Rebels. What do you think of that?
I played Polis several times as Rebels, and I find it extremely tricky. Like, it can be done well, but you can't do a single mistake at the beginning. If you do, then the Empire has pretty easy time. If you do it perfectly, the Empire is toast. But depends on MrMan's micro, I think.
Yeah, Polos is a map where, especially at the start, both factions have to do a lot of micro, so the mechanical prowess of the players gets tested there. It's, in some regards, just as hard for the Empire as for the Rebels at the start, because there are a lot of things that you have to do pretty much at the same time, especially if you try to do a bombard attack on the enemy base mine. So that levels the playing field in that regard a little bit, but at the same time, obviously, it's a hard map for the Rebels. But MrMan regardless wants the Rebels. Let's give them a Polis. Of course you can have that. Here we go. Yeah, I think the biggest point on this map is top left. And I have a gut feeling that the match will be decided on that mine in the nebula up there.
Definitely agreed. With one exception, if we want to see something what happened yesterday with the bomber attack on the Rebel base mine, where a single bomber killed the entire base mine.
Yeah, that was very, very early base mine kill. Let's see. Only one way to find out. It's to say good luck and have fun and count the players down. I'm getting vibes from chat that we might see a cars and cheese strat. What could that be? Let's go. If it's a cars and cheese strat, then I would argue that it will be MrMan doing it, because they have been practicing together. Yep, I was just about to ask what's happening, but he's using his restart very well. Every player has one restart, of course, and he has spent his now. By the way, we passed 300 followers this week. I think we did it yesterday. So congratulations to all of us, I guess, for slowly but surely reviving competitive EW after the servers were down for so long and after Steam brought back online multiplayer.
Yeah, it is nice to see the community is growing and people are still playing this awesome game.
What game can say that it's growing after 14 years, right? 15 years by now. Both base mines virtually at the same time. Whoops, he hit the nebula, losing his S-foils. He will need to reactivate them if he can. Now, what do we have here? Rebel rush onto the base mine, Naboo style. Bombers! Is that cheese we are talking about? Oh, MrMan is actually anticipating. Raisinface has always built this turret, and MrMan is just waiting here for him. So that's a very nice anticipation. Now, do the bombers get the double damage, and will their damage be enough? I think... Where's he going? Oh, now is he going to the mine? It's gonna be enough. Oh, that's gonna be close. Let's see.
No.
What is happening? The mine is completed. There's no double damage. What was that? Oh, that's so... And now he sacrificed everything on the left side of the map. There's nothing from MrMan. Okay, this should be enough now. Mine? 1 HP. Oh no! And Raisinface actually got the turret up, even though MrMan wanted to deny that. Everything is going wrong.
This start really did not go well.
Nope. And we have a bomber.
At least 5 torpedoes. Oh, okay.
I want a soundboard. I want some crash and burn sound effect. Oh boy. Now, Mr. Man, don't give up. Let's go. You have a lot of credits. Build a turret. The turret takes out the mine. Get a bomber for the bottom line. Keep contesting top. You can do it. Let's go.
Oh, that's nice.
Let's do the underdog story. Yeah, that's a lot of X-Wings. Let's go for the mine.
Okay,
For the
that
rebellion.
could work. That could definitely work.
Now, a question for Carson. Did your cheese strat involve ignoring half of the map? Raisin Face building top. I'd assume that Raisin will build his baseman again soon. He's been on that build all the mines kind of stuff a lot in the finals. Yeah, still 1.4k credits for MrMan, but now Mr. Raisin Face is starting to hard defend here. He has the engine upgrade, so while he will lose the dogfight, that's going to be a lot of damage for MrMan's X-Wings, and most importantly, it's a lot of time wasted. Because Raisin sits on 2 mines right now. With upgrade, he's going to have a 3rd mine in a bit. So all the time that MrMan is spending in this dogfight, Mr. Raisin Face is just cashing in big time.
Yeah, definitely those 5 ties don't matter. At the time when the dogfight will be over, he will have enough credits to buy all of them again.
And looks like the X-Wings are actually losing the dogfight, am I wrong? Raisin pumping in more and more TIE fighters, and the X-Wings are going down. Wants to go away, is slowed down by the asteroid mine. Engages again. Yeah, he is pretty much stuck in this dogfight with the engine upgrade on the TIE fighters.
Yeah, and there's a lot of TIE fighters coming in to the middle. Another 4 squadrons.
This mine is locked down, I would say. Kind of.
I agree. Those missile turrets could kill it by its own.
Now, angry Empire noises here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 TIE fighters. And we have the GG. We have a winner, boys and girls. Watching this, we have a champion of the 2021 Space Cup Minors, and he comes from Sweden. He has been in the winning team in the Minors in the 2v2 tournament in the last year. He has repeated his success this time round, first place in the 1v1s.
Kinda not surprising outcome, but I expected a little bit longer game.
I did not expect the 3-0 or 5-0 victory here. Definitely not. Not after how strong MrMan has looked in the last match against Flipper J. He looked so strong that Mr. Raisin Face really had, yeah, he was going into this thinking like he's going to lose, and he stepped up big time. Let's get the players in here for the post-game interview, shall we?
Of course.
Now, guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, can hear you.
I would do a drum roll, but I don't have a drum right here with me. So just congratulations, Mr. Raisin Face, on winning the 2021 Space Cup Minors. How do you feel?
Thank you so much. I'm sorry, MrMan. I was so goddamn nervous for this match. Honestly, it was a bit anticlimactic.
Dude, I played so badly. I think that was like my worst played match since like I've joined this tournament.
Oh boy.
Like that was not my A game. That was my F game.
Yeah.
So bad on my part.
Yeah,
Right.
sure, whatever you say.
Can we get an F in chat for his game? Right, let's talk about this. Yeah, obviously, I think everyone would have liked for it to be more than only 3 games, but at the same time, it's very impressive nonetheless to have a clean sweep from Mr. Raisin Face. After, I mean, you've been coming into this, Raisin, very shaky. you saw MrMan beat Flipper J really convincingly before, right? So what let's go back before you played today. What was your mental state? How did you feel before you came into this? Were you really nervous?
I was extremely nervous. I've seen what MrMan has achieved like the last couple of months. He beat Flipper with like little difficulty. I was like, oh shit. I kind of struggled against Flipper. I was like, this might be bad. So, yeah.
And then that happened.
Yeah. And then how was it for you, MrMan, before you came into this today? I mean, apart from all the time zone struggles, how did you? How was your?
I knew I wasn't gonna win, but I was content if I could get like 2, maybe 3 games in, and then I started playing that. God, that was so bad.
Do you think it was at a certain point where you just kind of tilted, or was it from the start?
From the start, my focus was not on like where it needed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like I kept forgetting about units. There was at one point where I forgot about the weapons upgrade completely.
Oh. That's something that we have seen very early in the tournament a lot, but not have seen that a lot lately. Yeah.
Like I said,
I remember situations like on Endor where people bought the shield upgrade instead of the laser upgrade, and then just went for a dogfight in the Nebula where you don't have shields anyway.
Yep, I was one of those people.
Indeed. So you've come a long way since then, I would say. Definitely. But yeah, let's talk about the games, I would say. First one, Dantooine pick from you, MrMan. No, who picked that?
Raisin
picked
Raisin.
That was me.
We were debating whether you have a favoritism, whether you like the bigger maps more. Is that something that's right?
Yeah, I guess you could say it like that. I like bigger maps. It feels like I have more breathing room, more room to maneuver in a way. I don't know how to put it. As long as the map's not Coruscant, I like big maps.
All right, so big maps, but not the biggest map. All right.
Yes, precisely.
Okay, so Dantooine is, in some regards, it almost feels bigger than Coruscant in some regards because there's so many points of interest. Coruscant is big, but it's kind of simple, if you know what I mean. While Dantooine is not as big, but it's a very complex map. And it looked like you kind of did the Artemis strategy of just building everything, but you did it with Rebels.
Yeah, I have an extreme urge to buy every mine I get my hands on. Yeah.
That's one of the things that always fucks me with Raisin.
Yeah, I've had that for as long as I've been playing Empire War, competitively or else. Well, if it's not competitively, I will build mine, but still. And I just haven't been able to let it go. Sometimes it's been screwing me over, but it seems to serve me well quite a fair amount of times. So I'm satisfied.
Especially against me.
Yeah.
So, what do you think? I mean, you already said, MrMan, that you just weren't on point with your gameplay on Dantooine. But was there something you remember where it was just a strategic thing or a certain micro mistake that you did that just made you fall behind and then it made it spiral out of control?
On Dantooine, that was probably the best match I played, I would say. Except the one thing that I forgot to do was build a turret in the back. I think that's what I think I usually do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, both players actually didn't build that turret. And yeah, usually the Empire turret especially is really, really useful because it's just such a costly mine to attack with the X-Wings if there is a turret. And Raisin, you scouted that very early with, I think it was one of your starting units, just going to the base mine, seeing that there is no turret, and then later you could come in and sweep the mine away, right?
Yeah. I didn't really have a plan for it, but I think I was thinking like, okay, I went down to the bottom right? And I was like, what do I do now? I have this, I could go and just kind of harass his mine and just try to tie up what I can, and it ended up being way more successful than I thought it would be, because I ended up tying up like 3 TIE fighters. I was like, for like the cost of 1 X-wing. Then I debated with myself, should I like? You might have noticed that I jumped in a few X-wings, but not enough, because I was like, should I try and kill it or not? I couldn't decide. It ended up with me just, no, it's fine, let it go. I'm gonna wait for a Nebulon. But
All right.
I would say that was a mistake.
It was really funny how you had very different situations in the game. Raisin, you spent a lot of money on the mines and always try to get them up. And MrMan, you couldn't really. You went for TIE fighters, obviously, to get more map control. But you still teched up pretty much at the same time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, his tech. It kind of scared me at first. Then I realized, wait, he does even have any money to? Because I could not. I could never like imagine that you would take at this point. In my opinion, like, you don't have any money. Where are you getting the money from? How the hell did you take? And then I was like, well, it's fine. You shouldn't be able to buy anything. Then I say, Boba, like, how the hell did you make that money?
I think I had 2,000 credits when I fully stacked up.
Yeah, that was the point where I was legitimately scared, because I'm like, okay, he has a bow, but I think can do major damage. I'm not ready for this, but it ended up fine.
There was a beautiful entrance from Boba, and there was a beautiful exit from Boba.
I noticed how Boba died. I'm like, oh, I didn't realize that was a thing.
Yeah, neither. I saw that thing and like, I know it blows up. Maybe I should try it. And then, holy shit, that was 10 times more effective than I thought it would be. But yeah.
Yeah. There have been moments when people just call in Boba out of hyperspace and he just auto attacks the canister and just dies.
Nice.
It's pretty much everyone has that happen once to them in their career at some point.
Yeah, I haven't had that yet.
Haven't played enough yet. So so that was Dantooine. Raisin, you got ahead in terms of mines. You both were Tech 2, but at that point you had no income, MrMan. So when Boba died, then it was pretty much over. So
yeah, I just wasn't able to get rid of the back Nebulon.
Yep. One bomber at some point, maybe, but you never went for it. But yeah, it's moot to talk about this now, I think. Let's talk about Endor instead. We were both, Thrawn and I were both expecting Endor to be the pick from you there, since it's kind of your favorite map and you can be expected to even get Rebels, which you like on that map. So, Mr. Raisinface, question for you. Did you watch his Endor games before and prepared? Because it looked like your strategy was a very effective counter to what MrMan is usually doing there.
I kind of did. I realized, like, the second I picked Empire, shit, he was quite good as Rebels on this map. But I had watched the map before, so okay, I thought I should know how to deal with this either way, even though I realized 2 seconds after that was a mistake. But yeah.
And Endor was when my mistakes really started showing.
Yeah, then maybe recap for us. What do you think went wrong compared to previous Endor matches?
I completely forgot to build the turret. I just completely lost eyes on the bottom left. I wasn't able to micro well at all. And I let him take the top right, which I usually use that as a trap.
You were literally sitting just out of vision range with an X-Wing.
Yeah, I thought he had vision, and then I realized only later that he must have not had vision, and I'm just like, well.
Yeah.
So you were actually up there, because I was like, oh, this is nice. Maybe I can take this without noticing. That was a mistake. So we were trying to trick me in that.
Yeah, I was.
It just didn't work.
Yeah, you need to watch the replay. It's pretty painful. It's almost in vision, and then he decides to go somewhere else with it.
Oh.
The X-Wing was just next to the building mine, and then it decided to move away, and Raisin's mine built up. and then the X-Wing returned, let's say, 20 seconds later and destroyed it. But at that time, the mine already paid for itself.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know. In my opinion, I don't have the full picture here, but what I think won that was the fact that I got the mid mine basically instantly, and it stayed there for like the remainder of the match. So I constantly had an income.
Yeah, my micro, you probably saw that, Raisin, but my micro at the bomber was just so bad.
We'll be coming back to that point on Polos.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Thrawn, is there anything more we need to talk about in regards to Endor?
I was kind of surprised that MrMan did not go for the center right after destroying Raisin's base mine, because I kind of expected those X-Wings to go there instantly, like circle around the turret and go to the middle, destroy the middle, lock it down.
That was also one of my other problems. I completely forgot what I usually do.
Oh boy, complete blank. in
kind of
Like I had my X-Wings, and I'm like, wait, what do I usually do with them next? So I started making them go top right.
Yeah, I remember that moment. You were going there with 2 X-Wings and then they went back. They were pretty indecisive where they want to go. Yeah. Right. Okay, so Endor, MrMan, just, you were on that downward spiral in terms of gameplay, right? And then Mr. Raisinface, you had a nice strategy against what MrMan usually tries to do. And that, built one thing on top of the other, and it was a very one-sided, very quick affair. So at that point, Raisin is ahead 4-0 effectively. 2 games advantage, 2 victories. So you need to strike back now. And the next pick is for Mr. Raisinface. You go for Polos. And you said something about a pact. What's the deal with that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
okay, go on.
all right. So me and Raisin had to decide to make a deal, a pact.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We were going to like match point. If the other person had them like dead to rights, the other person would tech up the Tech 5 and kill them with capital ships. That was the deal.
He has been harassing me for like 2 hours about this, and he forgets about it.
Not only did I forget about it, I was so upset at myself and so annoyed that I played so badly that I didn't care anymore.
You just wanted out of there.
I just wanted to like
So you
leave at
broke
that
the
point.
pact, you mean?
Okay, I see. The pact will have to be postponed to the next tournament. So, Paulus, we had some cheesy comments in the chat. Was there something prepared for MrMan?
What?
I think people were saying that you were going to try a cheese strat that you had from Carson, and then there came the bomber. Was that a cheese strat?
That's the strat that I learned from Carson, I
Mhm.
believe.
Yeah. And then, but then we go back to what we said about the bomber and micro. What happened there?
I think at that point I was trying to micro my bomber, realized that the fighter that I put on my base turret, because I saw his fighter going to it, so I was like using that fighter to stop that other fighter so he wouldn't build a thing. I saw him in the middle of the map. I'm like, oh no. Thanks to that delicious input lag. And after that, it just like all fell apart. He was able to get the turret. I lost focus of the micro on the bomber.
It just everything went wrong. You tried to deny the turret going up. The turret got up anyway. You tried to be really cheesy and quick with the Y-wing. It just didn't work out. Then your base mine died pretty much instantly to the bomber. You completely forgot to go on the left side of the map at all. So, and then at some point you were sitting at 2k credits. Oops, I should spend my money.
Like
oh boy.
I didn't even notice the bomber until like the mine was already dead.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh.
That's because the bomber, I think, was mostly inside of the nebula, and then you don't see it on the minimap too, so it's a bit easier to miss it, a bit harder to spot it if you don't have the camera there. Yeah, Thrawn. Do we really need to talk about Polos too much? I think just making the crash and burn sound effect is enough.
Yeah, I don't think so actually, because Polis, it was bad from the start. Let's say the Endor game, it wasn't so bad there. The mistakes were more into the game, but the Polis, it crashed right at the beginning.
That was almost as bad as a sync error, just in another way. Now,
Yeah,
That was a sync error in real life.
there was sync error in real life, definitely.
Yeah.
A sync error between the hands and the brain. No way to control the game anymore. Now,
Yep.
MrMan, talk to me. Second place in your first EW tournament in the playoffs. Probably didn't expect that at all, did you?
At the beginning, no. Dude, all right, I just remember this. Me and Raisin and I think Flipper, we were having a conversation, like we were all saying like what would happen if we all like somehow made it to the top 3, like all of us. And then like months later it actually happens. I completely forgot about that until just now.
I see you got a gift of foresight, Mr. Jedi.
I mean, I did say I would lose this. I just didn't say how hard I would lose.
Maybe going into this with the mindset that you will lose that was a small part in how you performed? Yes or no? I don't know. I can imagine it being the case subconsciously that you
I
just.
think it's the case.
I mean, I was still gonna try my hardest to win,
Mhm.
and then
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always the thing, right? That it's a strategy game, and strategy is not confined to the actual mouse clicks in the game. You have to think about what you do, the strategies like we have seen on Endor, where Mr. Raisinface had a great counter strategy to what MrMan was doing. And there is a big mental part where if your brain just stops working for you for whatever reason, then you lose games. And on the other side of things, if you get into that flow, if you get into that state of mind where everything just feels so easy, then you just play so much better than usually. And
yeah, that was Flipper.
yeah, and getting to that point is also part of the game and of the competition. And today, Mr. Raisinface got everything together, played his A game. And MrMan, for you, yeah, best of luck in the future. And also a huge congratulations to getting second place in the 21 Space Cup Minors.
Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations to you both from me as well.
Thank you. Here, I
Yeah,
want to
nice.
point something out.
Okay.
MrMan, remember after your first loss in the group stages there, and you were so ready to quit. And me and Flipper managed to convince you to stay. Did you imagine back then that you would get second place?
Well, obviously not. I thought I was gonna get like dead last. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Oh.
Like,
Well, you were dead wrong.
Oh.
Okay, enough dad jokes. Sorry.
what you mean,
Couldn't
me?
help myself. No, everyone.
I know. I'm saying I'm dead.
I made a
That
dad
joke.
I made a dad joke with that because I said that, but it was actually dad, not dad. But
My God.
What?
okay, it's time for us to stop. Thank you everyone for tuning in. It was a pleasure broadcasting the minors. It was so fun because you never knew what's going to happen with the newer players. We have seen great stories of improvement. We've seen awesome matches. I hope we somehow get to making some kind of highlight reel video that would then be posted on our YouTube channel. Link below the video if you're watching this on stream. Oh, is it?
Sick.
Competitive Empire at War, if you want to search it manually. And yeah, there were so many great moments, space races, pirate spam, and just the most unlikely situations that you just wouldn't see in the majors. The minors
That would be
deliver.
sick.
And in the end, we have a return victor with Mr. Raisinface, and we have a new bright star on the horizon with MrMan. Thank you both for showing up today, for playing this, and for being awesome with scheduling and the interviews as always. Thrawn, thank you very much for giving insight and commentary today. It was again very pleasurable to commentate and cast with you. And to all the viewers, see you guys in the next time. Next time, speaking about that, we know the date for the next and final match of the 2021 Space Cup, which will be the grand finals of the majors. Dum 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 dum. Right, it's gonna be on the next Saturday. And now I need to be really careful because of time zone constraints. I will Google now when the time zone is going to be changed in Germany. Okay, it's on the 28th. So that's not
it's
a
14
problem.
days from today.
Okay. It's just I don't say the wrong thing. Okay, it's going to be at 7 p.m. Central European time then. And it's going to be at 12. Right, no, 7 minus 5 is 2. It's going to be 2 p.m. Eastern time, which is now the daylight savings time, I think. So 7 p.m. European, 2 p.m. Eastern time. See you then for the grand finals of the majors. And for now, have a nice one. Bye-bye.